Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
It is loud and it is wet here, Coach, as we welcome you inside CenturyLink Field on a patented rainy afternoon in Seattle, Washington. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Newton.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Winston going to get this out to Evans. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. 3rd and short yardage. Winston. He's got Evans. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 26. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. They'll throw again. Winston. There's Evans again. Complete. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Off the play fake, Winston. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Gesicki, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
It becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Check. Go 14.
They'll try the left side. Buchanan. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Kyle Van Noy in on the stop.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Touch 50, touch 50. Friday.
They go play action with Wilson. They'll roll him out right. And he's going to keep it here. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down.
Down to lose 1. Alert, go 14. Alert 3. Start.
Play action. It's Wilson. Flush to his right. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get across midfield and down into Buccaneer territory. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Seahawks, nothing. 53 is the mic. I'm coming. Hey, 0. 53.
Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. D Ford in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals. All right, number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Here's a Johnny. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Winston from the gun on third down. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 36. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. He finds Ajayi. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to bring up a third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. On first down, it's Buchanan. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Play action. Now Wilson rolling to his right. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They go play action now. Wilson. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. D. Ford, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Wilson and the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Off play action. Wilson escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
All day, all day. Move the team. Let's go. Here we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
Here we go on 4th with Wilson. That's complete to Dissly, the tight end. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
53 is the mic. Let's get it together, defense. 12. 12. Under 10. 10. Match box. Mike.
They'll run on first down. Buchanan. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Wilson trying to urge his guys to go faster and get set at the line. from the 45 on second down. Wilson. And nothing but daylight ahead. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Gano for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened-up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Let's go.
Off the play fake. Wilson eluding the pressure right. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Let's make these babies cry all the way. Alert.
Final play of the half. It's Wilson going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it, and he will be brought down as time has now run out on this first half of action. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
They don't want it, boys. They don't want it.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, man, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
On 3rd down, it's Buchanan, and he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
14.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Now Wilson on first down. Steps away to his left. He'll run it. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson being chased out left. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 24-yard line.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
0.
They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
To throw on second and 6, Wilson. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Sliding out of the pocket. This is caught. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. To throw again on second down. Wilson to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. This is third and goal. Still looking for the first points of the game. Again, Wilson. He'll buy some. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. A great effort there. There to make the grab. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. They go for just one here as it's up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 17-7. A 10-play drive that time. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They run with Ajayi. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So third and long. They go play action. Winston airing this one out for Evans. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Some boos coming down right now from this home crowd after that call.
Yeah, and that was because of the pass interference call, but for a second there I thought maybe they'd gotten a look at my appearance as Othello in the high school play.
You were Othello?
Not a good one, let me tell you.
They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2. Throwing on second and 8. Winston. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 16.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Bucs. They've got the football. They also are in front here on the scoreboard as we start the fourth. On first and 10, Winston. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. From 13 yards out as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern in the middle of the end zone.
And ordinarily, that's a tough spot to find because there's usually coverage to take away that portion of the field. But they found a gap, and they exploited it.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is taken at the 3. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. We'll check on his status when we get back. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. D. Ford make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The
pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times.
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 45. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
He's checking credit.
Now it's a giant. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Jameis now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's first and 10. This is a giant. Yannick Ngakoue in on the stop.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On second down now, it's Newton. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great play there. His third touchdown now on the year as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense. Get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if they have any kind of a good back, they'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. D Ford has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to work his way down to the 16. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game.
Let's go, defense. Let's go, defense. Here we go.
Winston here to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And the 13-year man puts it through, and that'll push the lead from 24 up to 27. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Wilson, and it's knocked away and incomplete. The rookie from Washington, Taylor Rapp, there to knock that away. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
53's mine. 53's mine.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. It was the linebacker, Devin White, there to knock it away. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower post-game. This will be fielded at the 8. carries up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final? And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Devin White, the linebacker. Johnson, the intended target.
Check.
Winston goes ahead, takes the knee, and that should be all she wrote.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 30-yard line.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking.